Let's continue on building the Lion Knight's Castle by Lego Icon. Set number 10305 contains a little over 4,500 bricks. And remember, in the last installment, we finished up the base and we did a minifigure. Remember Merlin the Magician? I already have him put up. Now I want to focus my attention on bags 17 through 20 today. So, and this plate doesn't come with it, I just use it as a bookmark. And so yeah, now we're getting into multiple bags here. All right, so 2 bag 17s. One's full of small stuff, the other one's full of big stuff, and I don't think it matters. So I'm just gonna pour them all out. Oh, we can make black propane tanks now. These got the holes in them. All right. So today is the 17th of January 2023. And the set was provided to me by the Lego Group for review. Well, it was provided to me as a gift. It's a thank you gift for doing all the reviews. But I still do a review on it anyways. And, well, let's pour all bag 17 out here. And then 17 is like we're working on the dungeons. So, let's begin bag 17. Okay, let's get everything situated here. So we'll be working on I don't know which side we were working on the last time here. Did I even grab the wrong piece here? I'm lost now. Okay, we got the water here. Okay, we're still working in here. Matter of fact, that piece doesn't look like it's down all the way, huh? Yeah, let me push that down in there. So yeah, sometimes that stuff happens. Now let's get going on this. And so a couple things I've learned about this old crusty camera. And that is we got to put a stud on the door here, is I turned off the stabilization feature. Why? Because when you stabilize the video, the resolution blows up a little bit. And it just makes it lowers down the resolution from 1080 to 720. So I decided just to turn that off and that kind of thing. And okay, it fits inside that little groove there. We have a notch there. Yes, we do. Okay, we got one prison cell done, and the door faces the other way. So this is indeed a dungeon. See, your capacity could just be up to 2 prisoners at one time. And I am missing a prison door. And that is like a metallic, not a metallic, it's not pearl silver, it's like a darker, like a dark silver. Now I'm opening up the doors and you're just pressing down on the threshold to make sure that's seated firmly and stuff. And I did check out the high quality of the recordings, and well, it was a turd. And nothing worse when you're trying to learn something new. And first off, I don't do a whole lot of audio editing. Video editing is one thing. And these bags just keep making that rubbing noise. Okay, now I know which ones are doing it. And well, I don't have no space in here anymore. I don't even know what I'm talking about half the time, but ooh, that's coming apart there. But it only recorded on the left channel. I had to learn how to merge left and right together to make it mono. Because I don't care if these are in stereo or not. They're not, we're not here this is not like something I need to have at Hi-Fi Stereo or anything. It's just me building out of Lego. It's, you know, and it was just a pain. One of my videos took way longer. It took a whole day to figure it out. I was, you know, cursing at the software, lots of 4 or 5 letter words going at it and stuff. And several YouTube videos later I watched to figure out how to do it. Are we doing black or dark gray? It's hard to tell. It would be black, but all I'm finding are dark gray ones, unless there's just that one in here. Do I have to stop what I'm doing and have to find one piece? Or is it already in there? Oh, it's already in there. Never mind. But that was just a nightmare in itself. And honestly, the next person who complains about the audio quality, I'm just going to mute the sound on the videos and just use subtitles. Or just put a disclaimer if you don't like it. Just put the sound on mute. That would be better. I never had a problem with it. But wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong... oh, no, I'm looking at the wrong page here. So that took care of the audio issue for the most part. Apple does not make things easy to record anything. They use their own formats and stuff, and software I have wouldn't really let me do anything, and I just thought, oh, it's time to just dump Apple, get an Android. I use Apple products for developing software, but as far as for gaming, doing builds, and all that other stuff, you know, database work, I mean, I just use Windows. And I have this piece here, which is backwards. Let me go find that. Oh, there it is. It's buried under the manual. So some of my videos took longer than expected to edit. Okay, it's a 1x1 that goes in. It's like, that's pretty loose. And so it was pretty much a nightmare getting that done. So to make matters worse, I had to refilm 2 set builds twice. Not the castle build, but I had to do 2 review builds twice. They were an installment series, and what happened is that the camera, everything was working fine. I test everything out on the phone and on the camera, make sure everything works, right? I never figured that I would have problems with just dealing with audio stuff in general. So, okay, we put that in there, and that's there. Kind of jumping around here. I shouldn't do that. So one of them I was sneezing, coughing, clearing my throat. I forgot to edit that out, so I had to redo it, re-upload it to YouTube, because we all know somebody would probably get their in a knot over that. I may have to censor that word out, because that would upset somebody on here. And so if you hear me mute something out, it's probably because I said something wrong. And it's gonna be at that point one day where that's what I'll be doing, you know. But, I got to read my disclaimer. These are not to be construed as professional product reviews, as I do this as a hobby. The camera's stabilization's off, so you may experience some seasickness. So you may want to consult a physician before proceeding on. Even though if the camera's on a tripod and I don't really do anything, but I bump into it. And, audio may drop out, whatever, you know. So I'm not a professional product reviewer, so let that be known. That's sad. I got to do all that now. I mean, I do this stuff just merely for fun. And some people want more out of it. I had a viewer chew me out the other day for a video that was 11 years old because the video quality was kind of poor. And I understood it was poor. And it's on my list of videos to redo. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to redo that video eventually. Just be patient. Well, you should have had this proofed before you uploaded. And I just finally flipped on this kid. I said, dude, listen, this video was uploaded 11 years ago, probably older than you've been on this earth. So if you don't like it, you either be patient or pay me to go in and do a rush job on a video. I was just like, oh no, this is... So I may have to make a video. I think it's overdue for one, that I need to make a video on my main channel about this is not my job. I mean, some people think that I owe them something, you know, and I don't owe anybody a video. You know, these are my videos. I'm just here sharing and passing the knowledge on to you, the viewer. You know, that's what I do here. These videos are mine. I'm just sharing them with you. You don't, if you're the viewer that thinks that, you know, you don't own a video, I don't owe you anything at all. I just build this stuff and have fun, you know. And I'm trying not to get in one of my rantiness modes, but some people think that I owe them a video. And I just, like I said, though, this is just merely for fun. And, yeah, I don't know. And we got to stack 2 of these on top of one another, too. Maybe I should move the camera up a bit closer, huh? But no, I've been getting more people commenting about the orchid and the succulents and all that stuff. So pretty cool. I'm hoping this castle video will help some people out who appreciate these type of videos. Oh, we got a little ventilation shaft for the prisoner, huh? Okay. So in the last 5 installments, I've been very pleased with this build. We've only had one incident. That was the door crumbling apart in the living quarters. But other than that, it hasn't been too terribly bad. So I'm really satisfied with the quality of the set here. It's not bad or anything like that. I think the only thing that makes it terrible is the... All right, we got to put the arches in here. I think this... They could have showed that this went in here first before they did that. I don't know what I'm saying, but anyways, for the most part, I'm just happy with the build. The build quality is pretty good. The build experience is pretty good. It's, you know, for $400, it's on the steep side, but you're getting, it's less than 10 cents per part for 4,500 bricks. So that's pretty good. And pretty good build. It's just pricey. But remember, it's like buying the Death Star. I remember doing the Death Star, and I didn't really document all my builds on that. I just documented some of the footage of the Death Star. I don't know if it's on this channel or another channel. Basically, I just talked about what I did, and I just took notes. That's before I started doing live builds. So, yeah. Death Star is a pretty good build experience, too. Even if you're not into Star Wars, it's just... I'm not really heavy into Star Wars. I bought that set off of VIP points, and the build experience is pretty good. So if you ever find it, I've never had the Millennium Falcon though, so I don't know how that one's good. But let's see here, and I'm missing the ball joint that goes in there. So where is this piece at? There it is. And in addition, though, I haven't had a chance to really get into any more tutorials or mocks for that matter. I got 3.5 weeks left until work starts again. And most of it's been consisting of set reviews. So I'm going to start cutting down on reviews now. Yes, it's a good source for parts, but I want to get into my own stuff. Sorry, Lego, but I'm a mock builder. I want to build my own creations, not something that somebody else made, you know. So I'm going to start getting picky. I'm going to start getting pretty picky on certain builds. Yeah, man, the Sierra's been getting hammered out here. The Pacific coast has been getting hammered. Everybody's getting flooded out, drenched out. You know, everything's just wet. It's been lightly raining here. Actually, where I'm at, we're at average rainfall, which is kind of cool. But that's it. Oh. We're building a skeleton here. What makes a Lego skeleton? Well, there you go. You got to have the head and the torso. And oh yeah, speaking of that, I do get comments from time to time. Why do I re-upload my old stuff here? Like I said, eventually I'm going to make this channel is going to be nothing but my builds and reviews, and my main channel is going to be nothing but mocks and tutorials. So I'm going to split those two communities up into two. All right. We put him inside the prison cell. He just sits in there too. I'm just going to have him sit down. They got him standing up, but he doesn't stand to sit down in there. There we go. That's where he fits. So eventually I'm going to be doing that too. You know what? There's no locks on this door. Why didn't that skeleton just help himself and just walk right out of there, huh? I got to make 2 torches and set them in here. Yeah, I'm just glad now I'm getting set reviews done. I got one more offer that's just been shipped out. It won't be here till the end of the week. That lad's seen one too many days in our dungeon. And that's referring to him. Yeah, but I got one offer that's coming in. I can't tell you what it is, but hopefully it's a small set. I want to get into at least building my own stuff before work. But this is something here. I'm hoping I didn't regret, having them send me. I've had a few of my buddies say, well, why don't you just continue on just taking sets and stuff and just, it's a good source for parts, but some sets I just can't really use. In terms of, some sets just have a part out value of like 1%. There's little of no use I could use any of the parts for mocks and stuff. So I can't just use those pieces for, my own creations and stuff like that. That's how bad the part quality is. The type of parts in those sets is stuff that I can't really use for city or suburb builds. And there must be a hidden door there. Alrighty. And I'm ready to, actually I'm kind of getting bored. I do want to go back and do work stuff. After a while, it's like sitting at home. It gets boring. All right. So, whoa. Got to be careful. Somebody's going to complain that they got seasickness. So this actually goes somewhere in here. There's a spot in there. There we go. I should have put that on the turntable. And this sits in here. Must be a sliding door or something. And then we're going to be working back over here now. So this is one interesting build. All right. You know, do I get biased when I do reviews? It depends, but you have to understand, for the most part, I am giving up my personal time to do these type of sets. So it's not like I'm given a free ride here. And I actually still have to do the parts. All right, so far, so good. I'm not sure what this is yet. Could be part of a tree or something. And it goes right here. I think this is some kind of a sliding door. We won't know until, like, it's binding on something in here. I have to figure out what it's binding on, though. Like it's... Maybe I just have to finish it up first, huh? Okay. There seems to be a trick in this cell. I shall have to talk to her ladyship to make sure it's properly sealed. Probably referring to the door there, huh? And okay, let's start right back here first. Okay, that must be the door there for this. So that's the sail door. So that's what it is. Okay. Yeah, it shows it right there too. So that explains that. Alrighty, here we go. More stuff to build. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is just do the 4 bags today and get this done. I'm going to try to get this all filmed, completely done by the end of January. It should fully be done, reviewed, everything. And I'm working on another tutorial right now, something I kind of want to preserve out of my mind. I kind of have a rough build of it, but the problem is I haven't had any time to really get into it, because the other day I was editing, had those problems, and then now this is fun. I don't mind doing the castle, but okay. All right, and yeah, this morning I heard my neighbors going at it like hardcore, and I was just like, I wanted to just go out there and tell them to shut the blank up. I was like, yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't want to hear your problems. I got to deal with that in 3.5 weeks. I don't want to have to hear yours, you know. And I don't care who cheated on what. Alrighty. And hold on. We got a problem here. Like almost we're missing something. Let me take a look here. Okay. There's supposed to be a brick that goes in here. Don't forget there's a transparent red brick that goes right in this area. So, and you're building this doodad here. This is on step 380. Just remember, don't forget that brick that goes there. I was looking at that thinking, man, that doesn't look right. Well, now we know why. Like, why was that not working correctly? What's going on here? Okay. And well, we still got a lot of tan plates left, so I think this goes in here as another door. I don't know. Oh, it pivots onto here. All right. Well, let's try it out and see. You got to stick that in there first like that, and you're going to have to swing it in. So remember, stick the stop here. Or maybe I could just do this. No, we can't do that, obviously. How do you get that in there? Alrighty, let's see here. There we go. So I think it's just supposed to do this. Okay. It wouldn't go in when I did that, but maybe you'll have better luck. Very interesting passageway. Oh, but you know what I forgot to do? Hold on. Okay, it's telling you to put it upside down. I didn't see that. All right, that's my bad. Okay. Now we're going to get to work on the top here. And let me face this where it makes sense for me. And then skip a stud here. Start plating that in. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up. Yeah, that's going to come out. And I'm just going to work those in slow. They show it closed up, or mostly closed, like that. You're going to have to finger these in back here first. So I would just do that and just get those really pushed down good. And that's where I would start right there. And then we'll get going here on this. And that goes like that. Wait a minute, I need another one like this, huh? Yeah, really seamless, huh? I'm almost done with bag 17 too. And yeah, it goes like that. Yeah, but for the most part though, we've been getting hit with those winter storms, but not as bad as the weather guys make it seem. And we forgot to put together the minifigure. I have another Robin Hood. Or Miss Robin Hood. Okay, well, we knew we forgot something, huh? We'll place that on there. She's just got a... Well, I think she's got a single-sided head. And then we put the hat on, and... I've seen these several times. I don't think the hat would go like that. Let me take a look. Now I'm going to have to look here. Well, the feather would go in the back, huh? So I think it goes like that. And there we go. And bag 17 just basically does a minifigure in the dungeons. Not too bad. Okay, so let's move on with bag 18. And you know what I'm going to do? Let's, looks like we're going to be more focused on this second floor here. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to give ourselves a bit of a top view. So, warning, seasick motion. I have to do it, guys. I have to give disclaimers out. All right. Boy, that really is kind of loose. I'm going to have to tighten that back up eventually here. Well, Jay, why do you keep the steady shot off? We'll see. Build a bag 17, you'll know. All right. So let me put the focus back on sharpness here. And yeah, we'll get started on that right there. Okay, and let me get bags all dumped out here. We don't need him anymore, but we're gonna, or her. I'll set her over there. Let me slide that out of the way. I was gonna say we don't have another bag in there, but no, we do. Never known Lego not to waste plastic, huh? And where does this stuff go in the landfill? These bags. They were paper. I don't know. They just use them for kindling to start up the barbecue or something. Okay, it's mostly just scraped bricks and stuff in here. All right, now we're going to be working on this side right here first. So what I'm going to do here is try to get that in the center here to where it's not so tippy. There we go. And now let's get started. Okay. And we have plates that sit on top of there. Wait a minute. Hold on. Well, that came off. I'm looking at that thinking, how does that go on there? I think it goes on top of here. Sometimes they'll rush through and they'll just put like 20 bricks out in one time, and you have to kind of guess where they go. I may have made another mistake here. Like, what goes here? I don't know. Let me look here real quick. All right, starting this is going to be a turd. And then we go around here. Yeah, starting the builds are always hard because you have a lot of bricks staring at you and you're just looking for the small stuff first. And I'll wrap around the top here. So I don't know what part of the castle we're building this time. So doing these type of builds like this, I don't know what this stuff is. I just have to merely guess. Probably for the entryway, of course. But we obviously know there's going to be something, a living quarters up here. Okay, and let's start with, let's leave that open there. And the reason why I'm leaving it open is, you know, so I don't fuse the hinge together. Use that as like an indicator. We got a little window here, obviously. And getting these little windows put together here. Here. All these big pieces, and I'm looking for a 1x1 tile to go here. All right, where is that at? Do I start pulling out dark gray? Looks like I'm gonna have to. Let me get a container. The joys of doing Lego, you have to, half the time you're spending time finding containers. And yes, I'm using my professional sorting trays. And I'd like to lie to you and tell you I got more rants about those, but sadly no one's complained about it. Actually, I'm getting more people using recycled, repurposed, upscaling containers anyways like this, upcycling, because It's either $100 for a piece of molded plastic or $100 in parts to build more cool things. And I don't need to have the fancy stuff. I just need to have it just to hold the parts in. There we go. And then I would find it eventually. And just to make sure we don't have any catastrophic accidents, I'll put that over there. My luck, I'd end up dropping that and it'd spill over the floor and then I have to stop the video to do it. And that would not be fun. Not at all. Okay. Yeah, so far so good. I haven't had anybody come up to the door bothering me yet. I don't have any friends that come up today or anything like that. They all had to go back to work. A gear? What sorcery is this? A gear? Yeah, we're going to be putting a gear over here in a second. Well, first I got to find all the parts to do it. And one of these here next to the gear. Alright, let's start right here. Yeah, and I only had about 5.5, 6 hours of sleep. You know, thanks to my loud neighbors waking me up, fighting over some nonsense. Kind of set the tone for the day, but I was like, you know. But they had to get up for early morning harvest. I don't know what they do for a living. Don't care really, but I'm like, you know, some of us like to sleep. Oh, okay, I need one of those and some tiles. Excuse me. I'm going to be doing a window here. And I got to find another one of those. One of those was hard to find as it was. Well, I got to find another one. Sometimes you can't tell if it's a 1x2 brick or whatever until you find it. And once you find it, then you can use it. All right. I might have put it in here. These containers are deep. They don't really do well for big hands, but you know, they keep the parts in check, so I'm not going to complain about them. Okay, now we got to work our way around here a bit more. I think bag 19 is the only one that only has one bag. And that's it. So we got to put a hinge here. Now, do I have any more set things I got to build? No, I'm done with building sets. This is the only one that I'm working on right now. When I get this one done here, when I get done with this installment, I'm going to do another polybag unboxing real quick. And well, now I got to find the other half of this. Once I do the polybag unboxing, we're gonna work more on this. When I get done with the whole series on this, all right, let me see if I can find it. I'm too many gray bricks up here, 1x2 size. I think I'm gonna tackle the Queer Eye set next for part-wise. I can't wait to get the comments on that one. There we go. I think we're going to have 2 more of those window things going around. Not yet anyways. Back over here. Let's start over here first. And then we'll work our way back. Trying to think of any more topics to talk about, but nothing's coming to my mind. Except I can't talk about the tutorials that I'm building, but yeah, for those who've been snooping around on things, I end up getting rid of my security vulnerability. So now the big YouTubers now can't spy on me because now I have a way to prevent that from ever happening. Somebody was spying on something that I had to restrict. You know how Lego sometimes leaks their own stuff out? Yeah, sometimes I'll do that too. It's not intentional. But I was like, well, I'll just have to put a stop to that, and that's exactly what I did. All right, we got around this corner here. All righty, next step. And it's just little pieces in this corner. And two up here. I really can't wait to see what this looks like. All complete here, just to see, you know, what it looks like and stuff. Oh yes, though, it has been really cold out here. Either it gets in the 60s. When it rains, it's warm. And when it's like, it's clear as a bell outside right now. And it's like 40-something degrees. Out here, the weather's backwards. You know, back east in the eastern part of the country, in the States, it's freezing cold when it's cloudy. When it's cloudy here, it's warm. It's that tropical stuff. Okay, so I gotta open up the whole book for this one, huh? Okay. All right. Okay, we're gonna start with, we have to make one of these special things first. I don't know what these are for. So I think they're probably used, it shows it here. Like that maybe. And then we have to make another one here. There's a bunch of pieces in here. How do you do something like this? If the steps are just this overwhelming, we got all this red here. What do you do? The only way is to find a place that you want to start in and just start there. But one of the things that I recommend if you're doing this, you know, like I'm doing it on video here, so I have to do things a little differently. But the thing I would do is go through the little call out that has the parts listed and just pull those pieces out first in those correct quantities and then start there. It'll make the build not so painful. If you're just getting into this and you're not sure where to start, that's what you do. All right, you just do that first. And it makes it a lot easier. Now, I've been doing this for so long, but that does help regardless. If you're noob, if you're experienced, take a little time, you'll make less errors. You know, if you hurry up, you're going to make a lot more mistakes. Now, like I said, for brevity of video, I have to do this way. But you know what? Like I said, I'm not that YouTuber that's going to tell you my way's the correct way. You just find something that works for you and just go with it. Just stick with it. I did have one friend ask me, what kind of YouTuber would make a video like that? So I showed him the video and goes, oh, he's just doing that for content. I'm like, yeah, I could tell. I mean, I'm not hard for content because my brain already, in my imagination, already supplied the content. It's up for me to extract those ideas and present them to you guys and gals. I mean, they won't do any good sitting in my brain, my head, my mind, my imagination. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I think that's it for this step here. And now we're in step 394. And don't forget that there first, 394. Need some of those bricks, the snot bricks here. Yeah, sometimes these two look almost identical, but they're not. I see those all the time. They go, oh, I found the right brick. I've been seeing those. No. So I got to put the Technic bricks over there, and I got to find one more of those and set that correct brick in there. Let me start setting these sideways here. And yeah. See, now I'm kind of fumbling over trying to find this piece. It's how you know it's the last one in the bunch. So I got around the door here. We're not done with it yet because I got to add 2 more 1x1s. Nothing bad about stacking 1x1 bricks. You never really can get them aligned very easily. All right. And well, let's proceed on right here now. And I believe this goes right on top of the previous one here. Now I got to find a bunch of these corner things. All right, this may look confusing, but there's actually a slope hidden back behind here. So I got to find it first to show you. And the one thing I've noticed though, since I've been really getting into the castle though, after a while your eyes kind of just get bored of the constant gray. You know, when I'm building my houses, I always use colorful parts. So there, you need to put this slope behind here. I almost missed that too. But yeah, just the gray alone is enough to, you can go stir crazy on. I mean, for the most part, it looks really interesting when it's done, but... All right, we're going to start back over here, and they're really going to have you drop in a lot of parts here all of a sudden. Okay, so you're going to have to do a bunch of stuff right here. So we'll just continue on around the corner. Okay, and that's left open there. And we have 2 bricks with holders. But even when I write up a building guide for myself, even I can't cover all angles. When I go back in, I'll do a revised copy. Especially for the guys who purchase the stuff on Rebrickable, they'll have the original and the revised copy, where I'm not changing parts, but changing orders of steps and stuff. Oh, wait a minute. This piece, I don't know why I put it there. And then this goes here. I was like, that didn't line up right. There we go. Fix that right up. All right. And okay, it's an angle brick. Probably the last one because I can't find it. I see a bunch of little 1x1s that I'm tripping over, but yeah, this is the only bad thing about this set though. It's lacking color. It's just mostly just gray. I think I'd rather put together that yellow castle. But I only know a handful of people who actually have that castle. I don't. It was just, you know, you find it, you know, could you piece it together, everything but the stickers? I think it had stickers. I don't remember, but it's just a very large build, and yeah. wrap our way around here. So yeah, there's a lot of places you can make mistakes in this castle set. So just take it very slowly. I don't think there's anybody that's ever done it. Oh yeah, that's right. There's always somebody who does speed builds. And yeah, if you want me to do a speed build on this, let me know and I'll just upload the same content, mash it all together, and make it a premium. Put it on Patreon. Because I'm not going to edit literally through hours upon hours upon hours of footage to do that. All right, so we have a tile here. What is that, the doorbell? Right there. And, well, I found the other part of the hinge. Well, I mean, we're getting there. We're getting somewhere. So it looks like Bags 18 build the wall to something. I don't know what it is. I'll have it indexed correctly when I get there. I will read ahead when I'm done. I always read ahead in the manual, so when I come in here and index the videos, I know what to label everything is, just for keywords. So you can jump to a section. I was looking for a corner brick, but no, you stick that in there. And I found black. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. We have to make 2 more of these here. It was hidden in this crease of the book. It's like trying to find a 1x2 brick, but no, that's what we found. Uh-oh. Seasick motion. Oh, that reminds me, I used to do the scenic videos, and people would complain about the seasickness. I'm like, guys, there's not a whole lot I can do without that. I was using an iPhone, and I would try to do stable shot, and it just made everything kind of really wobbly. So it wasn't seasick, it was wobbly vision. And then I still got complaints over that one. I just said, nah, never again. And as technology improves, we'll get better stuff. Matter of fact, that scenic channel was supposed to be a place for me to do. If I do go on a surfing trip, I may just find a place that I've never heard of before. Take the phone and just film maybe a hike or something to put on the thing. Something different, you know. Don't forget your frying pan there. Okay, this thing's going to be crooked for a while. I think that's going to be used for some vines. I've seen that been used for vines and stuff lately. I'll see if I can get at least a video or 2 for scenic. The last one I had uploaded up there, I think we were going up to, I don't think it was Portal for Bay. It was a place right in the Southern Valley, or in the mountains of the Southern Valley. And I went there with my nephew and my dad. We just did a quick hiking trip, and that was it. And that was right when the pandemic came out. And we were all planning a trip and stuff like that, which fell through. Everything got closed down, and yeah, that was pretty much into that. And that's what killed off the trip there. And then my dad's health started declining, and to make a long story short, things just got dragged out to the point now where the forest burnt down where we stayed at, so we couldn't go back there anymore. And that was the end of that. I just kind of lost interest ever since. I bet this goes over there. And, you know, why don't I find friends that like to do that kind of camping stuff? It's beyond me, you know. You know, I think the black is supposed to represent a stovepipe. I guarantee I think that's what that is. But it's hard to find anybody who likes the outdoors. My nephew doesn't like tent camping. You know, you start hearing, well, why can't we stay in a trailer? All my friends have got trailers. Why don't we have one? And I'm like, because I don't want to buy one. I've always stayed in them, but I don't want to buy like a fifth wheel. He wants me to get a fifth wheel. That requires me to buy a whole new truck. And not that I'm cheap or anything, but I just don't want to drop that kind of coin on. And now, I don't want to go into the whole specifics of it, but now they're trying to talk about making some kind of general tax now, or taxes. They're going to tax heavily on everything, like even vehicles. So just imagine you buy a car. Let's say you buy a truck for $80,000. You're going to have to cough up more money for that same vehicle. And I thought, oh no. When I get whiff of that, I'm running down and just buying a new car and then sitting on it. But I don't want to get into the politics behind all that drama. But you know, just have to manage your pennies a bit more. Okay, so I was indeed right. It does go over here, and I think it goes like this. I don't know what we're attaching here, but yeah, I think this is some kind of a stovepipe. Looks like one. And now we are going to be doing Technic. And I'm glad now I checked because they are mirrors. So let's do that. Let's get it prepared real quick here. I think the cross axle goes in there. I remember though when I was a kid, speaking of all the camping and stuff like that, my dad would go fishing, and I'm not much of a fisherman. I always liked when he caught fish because that was like a meal. I always loved freshwater fish. And one of the things that I would do while he was fishing, I would go out and walk around, you know, take a hike, find a good place for firewood, grab some pieces and bring them back. That's if they permitted you to pick up firewood. Back in the early days, they didn't like that. And of course, that's before all the forest fires. Now they're encouraging in certain places, hey, come out here and pick up all this dry stuff. Well, yeah, it's too late now. It's all been burnt down. But we would go out there, and that's what I would do. And you know, one thing I really do miss about camping is getting up early in the morning and going for a walk. And then starting up breakfast when I got back. Like having bacon, eggs, maybe some pancakes or something yummy. And I miss those days. And doing them by yourself is not really too much fun. Although it'd be relaxing because I wouldn't have to worry about anybody. I can go out and do things whenever I want to. If I want to sleep in that one day, I will. Of course, if you're sleeping in a tent, you don't want to get out of that warm sleeping bag. I don't know what these are here. They're probably a track system for the door. Or this is probably, they're using these as rounded bricks or something. And I need a friction pin. And guess what? Oh, there it is. I'll say they shortchanged me one. No, there it was hidden underneath one of those wall elements, these things here. But yeah, I do miss the time when I get up in the morning, you'd smell the bacon. And you know your days, you already know you're going to be doing a lot of stuff in the daytime. You got your day plan, like hanging out at the lake. I remember when my parents would go with this couple, and they had kids too, about my age at that time, back in the 80s. And we would go to the lake and stuff, and it was real fun. Real fun. And, all right. This goes here. And this one goes over here. You think there'd be something here, but there's actually a gap at the bottom, so I guess that's okay. And, okay, first off, I know where the hinge goes. It goes right here. But that's the thing I remember, though. And it'd be a bunch of kids. We'd go out and we'd go find something to do. There was this one place we stayed at. They actually had a cave, like a little... It was kind of like a rock cave. And, oh, okay, I thought, what am I missing here? No, we need this. And it was like a cave. You can go in maybe about 5 or 6 feet. It's just like a rock that fell over another one. That was our hideout and stuff. We'd hang out there all day. We'd bring a radio up there just to listen to it. And those were the fun days, you know. Those were lazy days, fun days. And last time I heard, their parents, friends, kids were like in a lot of trouble. And you know, make a long story short, I won't be able to talk to them for the next 10 years. But I was like, those days were fun. And that's it right there. And then we're wrapping around here with some bricks. But yeah, for the most part, though, that's what I remember, though. And I remember going on those car trips. I always hated sitting in the car. I know somebody who... My nephew likes sitting in the car and stuff like that. He just likes doing that, listening to the headphones. Me, I want to get out and walk. I want to get out and move around. I was not a kid that could sit for too long. And I just couldn't do it. Okay, we have a lot of these little diagrams here, so we're going to have to pick one and go with it. I'll start with the 2x2s first. But that's what I remember, though. We used to go climbing on rocks and all sorts of stuff. That was real fun. Oh, and there was this one time we were at this campground, and there was this redheaded girl that used to stalk me. And one day she just came up and asked if I'd play. I'm like, sure. Didn't know what she had in mind. And she wasn't bad looking. I was probably like 10 or 12 years old. We were doing something. She said she had to go to the bathroom. And the next thing you know, she pushes me in the shower and starts kissing on me. I'm like, uh-oh. That was something else. That's what I remember, though. I think her name might have been Heather. And I wonder whatever happened to her. And sadly, we had to leave the next day, but she was a fun person. And I'm taking it this is going to be used to lock the thing together. But yeah, that was what I remember about the camping trip we took one time. And those were the days, you know, lazy days. And I got another story to tell when I get done with this bag here. Different camping trip, but with different girls. And that was a nightmare, but we'll save that for the next part here. I still got one ladder left. And it goes... okay, this gate goes here. Okay. Must be to lock up the prisoners. We don't know what that does. And that's it. And then we got something to read here. What a fine stall for Our Lady's Dessier. Methinks we would even fit in there wearing his capuchin. I can't even pronounce half these words. This is Old English. And that's it for bag 18. Okay, let's move on to bag 19. And so we're going to be building a minifigure. And does it tell us what else we're building here? We're working more on that. So bag 18 just did the walls for this room. I'm going to call it the foyer right now. I don't know what it is, but we'll find out eventually. Okay, so that's what we have in here. And bags within bags, of course. At least there's only one bag 19. Oh, we got two bags. They had to make up for that, huh? And yeah. Now, back to that story. My parents knew this couple as well. And they had two daughters. And they weren't bad looking. My goodness, though, they did not like me at all. They didn't like me for any reason. And this is probably back in the 90s, where the gals wanted the perfect, they wanted guys who looked perfect and stuff. That's what they wanted. And they did not like, these ladies did not even like surfer dudes at all. So go figure there. And they were just right down mean to me, and they would purposely start stuff with me just to get me in trouble, and I still remember that stuff. And he's got a single-sided head. And I kind of wonder whatever happened to them. Oh, well, this is cool. If that was a fade, this guy would be having the Edgar cut there. Now he's got a bowl cut. Or a 2-block, whatever you want to call it. In fact, the story I'm talking about is the same era that this hairstyle probably came in too. But these two gals would always purposely get me in trouble. You know, and parents were real nice, but their daughters were of anything but that. So one time they got me in trouble to the point where I was grounded while we were on a camping trip. I didn't do anything. I just stayed away from them and stuff. And later on, because they liked my sister, they just hated me. And next thing you know, they kind of spilt the beans about trying to purposely get me in trouble because they thought it was funny. What did their parents do about it? Absolutely nothing. So I walked up to the girls one day and I just said, you know, you two ladies are a bunch of bees. I'll leave that for your imagination. I got in trouble for that. The parents looked at me, you don't call my daughters that. And I'm like, and this is like, I was like 13, 14 years old. And I only called them as I see them, you know, and that was it. So that was it. And so I think it was like a year or two ago, I actually looked these two gals up. Yeah. Maybe it was best that I never even bothered with them. I mean, I'm sorry. I like bad girls, but not where they have felons. I'm sorry. I just can't. I'm a good boy when it comes to that stuff, but I was like, Yeah, I remember that stuff. And they were still in the beans. They tattled on themselves, and I thought, oh no. So I think it was another year we were going to go on a camping trip with those two girls again, and I just told my parents I refused to go to this camp, and I had to go anyways. They just stay away from them. So I tried my best, but they would say, "Hey, Jade, come over here." I would do it, and they would do something like they would throw something at me, throw a rock at me, or something like that. I would just tell my parents. I said, "Okay, I had enough." So I went and told their parents, "Okay, we'll handle it," and they never did anything. So, you know, that was about it. I didn't do anything. I didn't get even with them. It wasn't worth my time. And these are supposed to face inwards. So, but yeah, these two gals now are kind of in trouble, in and out of trouble, and they only like the really pretty boys. Yeah, trust me. Well, you know, and it's like ladies today, they want mature men. You know, I'm not gonna beat around the bush on this one. I'm immature for my age, but I can at least tell you honestly, right to your face. I going on a date or something like that. You know, hey, I'm immature. And women kind of frown upon that. I'm like, well, would you like me to lie to you and tell you that I am? You know, at least I'm openly about it, and I'm not going to hide it. But what is that ticking noise? I got so many Lego sets in here right now. Just things are rattling and chattering all over the place. But yeah, I was like, oh. Well, same thing for us dudes. We don't like ladies who are immature, especially when you, and only to find out what my sister had told me, that these girls actually had a crush on me. Well, if you had a crush on me, that's one weird way of showing it. And I thought, well, I don't want nothing to do with them. That was the end of that. Sometimes kids will get you in trouble just for their amusement. Oh, I'm way over here. There we go. Yep. So good, bad, and ugly, pretty much for the trips. But now it's like my nephew doesn't do any of that stuff. He doesn't get people in trouble. Sometimes he'll kind of narc on people. I'm like, why? Just leave sleeping dogs lie. You know, I don't need to get into all that. Nobody likes to be tattled on. You know, and that's just the case, though. You know, but I still remember those two young, and I use the term loosely, ladies. You know, and that's just how it is. And back in the 90s, though, it just depends on the parents. Some just let their kids run amok. I think I've known about a bunch of kids that have done that. They just run around and cause trouble. In fact, we even got a few kids that do that in our neighborhood, too. They'll harass other teenagers. They do it to adults. I did that kind of stuff. Man, I would get my butt beat. And I still remember, you know, today, you know, you when I was a kid, though, it was the belt that always scared you. Now today, though, you don't dare do that. If I did something wrong, it would have either been a stern talking to or a butt beating. Now today you can't do that anymore. It's like, don't do that again, little Johnny or Susie. And they'll go out and do it again because they know they're just going to get a slap on the wrist. Don't do that again. No, don't. Matter of fact, I remember I got lectured one time because I told somebody's kid, no, you can't have this. You can't do that. I literally got chewed out for it. So now when somebody brings their kids over, I'm like, here's the deal, and I tell them, no, you're leaving. Their kids, your kids will have to leave. So narrows that down. It's not that I don't like kids, just keep your hands off of things that are not yours. You know, that was another thing I was taught, is you just respected other people's stuff, and that was just what it was. What is this here? It's like a piece of furniture. And reddish brown too. My goodness, that's going to break and brittle and disintegrate. Especially these nice, cool slope pieces. I mean, yeah, I got myself in a share of trouble and stuff, but I knew what I was allowed to do. I knew what I was not allowed to do. I was facing my mother was the problem. My dad didn't care, but my mother did. So now I don't even, it's not worth getting in trouble for anything. You know, one thing I do enjoy is having the lock on my side of the door. That's what I enjoy. Was that a phone I'd be hearing? In fact, I've been cussing out a bunch of these stinking salesmen that keep pestering me. I'm like, really? Especially they'll call at 8:30 in the morning. I'm like, I'm sleeping. What is it? We'd like to sell you something. Oh, cool. Well, guess what? Click. Now I'm getting kind of brutal because I'm just tired of it. I think people are getting tired of the solicitors and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, my goodness. So it looks like this is some sort of armor stand here. Alrighty. Now, when am I going to have this done? I don't know. Alrighty. And so the helmets just sit on here, and the shields go here. Well, let's take a look if I can even find the shields first. I swore I saw them, but here's one. There we go. There's one. Not too bad. And those shields make good decoration pieces regardless if you're into castles or not. Oh, they got a reversed one here. That's really cool. And then we have another helmet we got to put on that. Yeah, so now it's like, I even tell my nephew, if somebody's going to start stunting with you, just ignore them and walk right away. I said, just think of it this way. You'll enjoy having the lock on your side of the door. You know. Well, I have a regular helmet. Oh, maybe that does go on there. Well, it's supposed to fit on there. Well, that's not going to fit, is it? Or am I putting it on backwards? I think I am putting it on backwards. There we are. And then there's a feather that goes on top of that mess. Putting that in there is going to be a chore, but there we go. Not too bad, huh? And we got a little info here. Let's see what this has to say here. Which to choose, a sturdy armlet or a or a nasal helm. I've always honestly fancied a painted hat. Fancied a painted hat. What are they referring to on that? I don't know. The Old English I'm having a hard time following. And then this here goes in here. Now, that just sits right in there, but I can't get, oh, there we go. There we go, that's perfect. So far so good. Okay, now we got to build more walls here. Right back to where we started. So open that, now you close it again. Okay, let's get going on this. I need to get some food here soon. But I'd like to finish up bag 19 and then do 20 real quick before I take a break on this, because once I'm done, I'm down for the day. I'm going to be done. Yeah, I hope my stories are not too much for you guys and gals. Just things that pop up in my mind and stuff like that. Some things it's just kind of cool to vent out. You know, just to kind of do that stuff. There was an ex-friend of mine, she'd do that a lot. I mean, do it too much to the point where it was just literally complaining at the whole point. Now, I try not to complain too much in these. I mean, I'm doing the review build, so I can do that. This one looks yucky. And this is one of those ones that I'm going to have to open up both sides of the book here. Putting that up there now. I don't want to forget it. These obviously spin freely, so I'm assuming that there's going to be a gate here. Maybe a drawbridge, we don't know. Yeah, so far I've just been really pleased with the build here. It's not hard or anything like that. It's just, it is what it is. Kind of want to sit back and listen to some music too. Okay, this goes right above the door here. Yeah, you got to use one of those headlight bricks for that. Okay, we'll set that in there. And we'll work our way back around here and see what we got. Wait a minute, I hope I'm recording. Yes, I am. Good. Yeah, I haven't made a hanger yet for the phone, unfortunately. I've been too busy doing those reviews. I'm so glad I got those done. Yes, those headlight bricks are facing like that. Oh, those are the same height too. That's cool. All right, we got those done. That's done. All righty. We gotta work back up here again. Now let's see here. What other trips? There was another trip that I went on with my parents. I was with my cousins. We all went to the beach for I think a couple of nights. And my uncle used to do a lot of crabbing. And we would go to this, I can't remember, it was some place with a lot of rocks. And you'd hike down this trail, which I haven't been down in like 10, 15 years. If I can get there, I'd like to do a complete video tour of it. And you walk down, it wasn't the mud flaps. I can't remember the name of it, but I'd like to go back in there and just go in there and just dig deep. Oh, there was another place that I remember just now. It's in that area. And there was this cave that you can go into. But you better be in there and out of there before high tide comes. Once high tide comes in, you can't get down in there. And it went back pretty far. And I remember that. I thought, oh, this is pretty cool. But we went down there one time. It was a cool little place to be. And next thing you know, when you start seeing the water covering your path, that was the time to get up and leave quick. But I still remember that one too. And yes, we all got along, and haven't talked to those cousins in excuse me, over 20 years. But I still remember that we'd all go out and do that kind of stuff, and we'd all run around at night. And that was back when things were a bit safer, though. But those were the days when you did that stuff. Now I'm looking for a hinge plate. And those hinges are permanently fixed like that too. And I just kind of miss on how simple things were, you know, just kind of relaxing. I wish I could find them, but I know they were kind of into Lego, but not really. My aunt and uncle didn't like them playing with this stuff because it was for kids. Well, and my aunt was the type of person that would have made fun of me for this today. I remember she'd make fun of me over things that I did. Made fun of me for doing computers. All that stuff. And that does fit in there. And why would you want to do this? It's kind of nerdy. You know, yes, I'm a nerd, so what, you know? I remember when I had my Lego as a 12 or 13. You know, boys your age don't play with Legos anymore. No, we wait until we're done with our dark ages, and we do it when we're full-grown adults. Well, sadly now she's passed away, and kind of cut ties with everybody in the family, included her nieces and nephews. And that was it. And I found one of my cousins on Facebook, but I never contacted them or anything like that. This guy has a long beard. I mean, beard. Bald with a beard. And I was like, oh. And this guy used to, used to just care about his looks. Every day he had to have his hair styled a certain way. It had to be perfect. And his clothes had to be, he always had brand name clothes. I was always jealous of him because both of these cousins had the best stuff. My parents were struggling. But my parents had a big house. All right, we got another little reading tidbit here. The stove here seems too short to be a proper brick. The stone here seems to be too short to be a proper brick, though at the same time too tall to be a plate. Perhaps I'll call it a block. Oh, they're talking about the squashed bricks again. Boy, I need to get more sleep. No, I don't have my contacts in today. It's astigmatism, so sometimes the words kind of smudge together. But I just kind of miss how simple things were. And my uncle was pretty funny too. He was a funny guy and stuff like that. Matter of fact, he was around more than my own dad was, because my dad was working at the time, building up a business. And I swore if I ever had children, I would not do that at all. I'd be here for my kids over the work. Well, not going to go into the details of that, but I don't have children, so just due to health reasons. But I said if I ever had kids, they would not. I would be there. The work and stuff can wait. Work's always going to be there. Family not. If job can't be that patient, and so be it. That's why now when I have like an employee that says they need to take time off for personal matters, I'm like, take as much time as you need off. Family comes first. The work can wait a little bit. Sometimes you'll get a client who's a little angry or antsy or whatever. I'm like, my employees have families too. They need time off as well. Sorry, but that's how we roll here. Alrighty. So far, so good. We're doing pretty good on the castle. Almost done with bag 19, and we got a pair of 20s we'll be doing here in a second. So, kind of curious what we're going to be doing in this. Man, that is loose. Look at that. Wiggly. Wiggly and jiggly. Yes. Alrighty. We're missing... Okay, we got to put these here. Lego, you need to come out with a 1x2 of these. Now, that's kind of brutal here. Yeah, I hadn't even edited part 5 of this yet. Alrighty. And it is 12:46 p.m. If anybody wants to know the time, that's what time it is. Okay, now it's all shrubberies, and this goes here. Okay. So now, well, we got to build a shrub. Something you probably see in Uncharted. So let's see if we can get this right here. Just take my time. Okay, first off, stick this thing in here. Stick this in like that. And then that goes there. Never thought about using these type of pieces to make trees and stuff. And then it sits in the frying pan. So looks like we have ourselves a little tree hanging off the side of the castle. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Okay. And that is what we have remaining for bag 19. Okay, so we have now bag 20. We did a couple minifigures. I don't know where the other guy went. Oh, there they are. And I think we're going to finish up just this portion of this clamshell piece here. And let's get started. Let's start unbagging things here. So you do get 2 bag 20s, a small and a large one. Okay, so looks like we get more bricks and plates. A larger one. Alrighty, with a small bag inside. I just dump them all out now just so I can hurry up and get on with the build. Okay. There goes that phone again. House phone gets spammed a lot with telemarketers, and I'm ready just to start recording them and making their lives miserable. Make videos on YouTube. Because I can get creative with... I always like to try to come up with some unique commentary with them. Okay. Now I gotta find a brick with 2 studs here. So, yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of big stuff here next. Let's start on it here and get it out of the way. And I'm looking for... Are they 2 individuals? No, that's 1. We had that one here with this, but why didn't we use that instead of this here in the first place? So now I got to go hunt around probably for 1 unique brick in this whole pile of mess. Remember what I said. It's usually the first. When you unbag the set, when you unbag, even if it's just a partition of a build, you literally are thumbing through parts for probably the first half of the build. The second part is like I just reach in, grab what I need, and I'm done. All right. So now we got to put the header back here. Yeah, but for the most part, though, I do miss building my own mocks. So now I'm getting picky on offers. Yes, it's a source for parts, but like I said, it's just how it is. Okay, now that's not wiggly anymore. I'm not sure how far we're going to get here. Oh, too bad these are brittle brown. Well, at least we know there's not going to be stickers on that stuff, so we're okay there. Alrighty, I need a 1x3. Alrighty, and yeah, where's the 1x2s go now? Oh, I see. My hair is already half grown out already. I mean, in 6 weeks, I got to get another trim. And that's one reason why I always go for the skin fade, because it takes 12 weeks for the hair to grow out. First you get a skin fade, then it turns into a taper fade, or just a taper. And then it turns into just a short haircut, and then it turns into a full haircut. And then 8 weeks, then after 8 weeks, it's time to think about getting a haircut. Now they keep raising their prices up out here, and I'm seeing more dudes now shaving their own hair, doing buzz cuts. And yeah, I don't know. I had a buzz cut when I was a lot younger, but you know, a couple of my buddies, they're already experiencing hair loss, and here I'm just thankful I still have a full head of hair. And I don't want to, I enjoy it still. Not making fun of anybody who's, what is it, alopecia something. But I just don't want to take advantage of that. Until it's my signature. It's always been my signature when I was younger. Especially with the center parted surfer cut. Anyways, though. At least it's not in my eyes. That's all that matters right now. Alrighty. So I gotta find one of those bricks with the 2 studs. So are they buried under the manual? No. But here it is here. And at least we're finishing up right here. Stick your finger in there and just hold underneath. You're going to need to do that. Matter of fact, it's going to buckle up and stuff. But you're going to need to force that down in there. You know what? This castle, now looking at it, it's a bit on the small side for what stuff that I usually build. For the most part, though, it seems pretty complete. Not done with all the rooms yet on this piece, but the other part of the clamshell looks pretty good. So I think, honestly, this is a build that I'm going to remember, just like the Death Star. I remember that. I remember the Tower Bridge. So if I remember a build, that's pretty good. Like the build, you know, the build experience. And it's just like getting this. It's like getting a city set. You know, I mean, come on. It's like, that's just any type of build. All right. And then we are back up here. I may have to raise up the tripod a bit for you here. Just those 2 bricks in that one section? Huh. Why don't you just put those 2 bricks and have us continue on down here? I don't get that, huh? And we got to make 2 of these. Where I need to find a 1x1 plate. Stick that in here, and there's one on the other side. We're going to work our way around first here. And then I need to get another arch piece. I got these big gray ones. Set those there. I'll probably lose those when I need them. Knowing me, I probably will, so if we lost. I bet the big ones go here, somewhere in there. Probably there. Or there. We don't know yet. You see this way. I'm seeing this way here. You actually see a better view than I do. I'm just viewing it what the manual shows me here. I noticed this brick here is backwards. Let me pop that out of there real quick, because I'm going to go OCD on that one there. There we go. Does it really matter? Not really. But it'll be that little quirk that would stuck in my mind, thinking you need to, like, I'll get up at 4 in the morning and be like, oh, you need to fix that part of the castle real quick. There we go. And let's start placing more profile bricks in here. Yeah, I got to get to that Queer Eye set. That's another one I want to tackle before I go back to work. A lot of my tutorials, though, when I would film them, would be right before work. That's when my mind was fresh. I don't want to film them throughout the day, because that's when you're... nothing worse, you get right into a tutorial and the phone rings or somebody needs your assistance with something, and then you have to stop, and you would never remember where you left off at. That's for me anyways, and I'm like, that's why I never film tutorials ever in the daytime. I never do them in the daytime. I build stuff in the daytime, but... Alright, I am missing a piece that goes there. I haven't seen it yet. So, what do? let's grab our container. We're going to start pulling out all the gray pieces until we find it. It's probably the last one in this whole bag. You can see how I'm tripping over the big stuff. Okay, I found it. Okay. And that was the last one too in there. And then now we're going to have to build more of that stovepipe again. Alrighty. And then, so we're going to be back over here now. One of these has a hole, so be careful where you put these at, because one of these has a hole. So if you find the one with the hole, set it off to the side. Don't touch it. Don't mess with it. Just leave it there. Let it sit there to rot for a while. Matter of fact, you can throw that in. You can throw that in the dungeon too if you think you're going to mess with it. Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, the fourth brick up. You stick this one with the hole in here, and there's a Technic pin that fits in here. Okay. Now we can proceed on with messing more of this here. So, 3 bricks, the one with the hole, 1 more brick, and 2 round plates that go on the top. Okay. Alrighty. Kind of a fancy way of tying this into the wall here. They're using these, and then we use those tap pieces like this. I'm not sure why, but unless we're going to be using those to attach vines or something, but I find that kind of ugly. I mean, wouldn't you use one of these round pieces unless you're trying to hide the hole? Matter of fact, I've overflowed on these little tap pieces from all the sets I've been parting out. Okay, after that, we stack 2 more plates on top here. Guess to lock all that in. Well, a plate and a round tile with a hole. And it goes here. You really got to muscle that down in there. All right. Okay, back to the usual position again. Because now we're doing more of the top here. Man, I'm not even halfway done with this manual yet. This is pretty not boring. It's bulky. It's big and bulky right now. This is by far not even a boring build. It's just bulky at this point. And yeah, there's got to be a drawbridge. I bet that's what these are for. I bet these are used for the drawbridge or the gate that comes down. I don't know yet, but we'll see eventually what it does. Did I ever hit record? Yes, I did. Cool. When I have the microphone, I'm going to have it hanging up here. So when I'm talking, the voice will be carried more into that instead of, because the microphone's sitting kind of over my left shoulder. Sometimes it sounds like I'm kind of far away, and I may work on that a little bit today. Alrighty. And then we got those in there, and that's done. I got to put a gray brick here. There's some random brick here all of a sudden. Well, I know we're ready to put the floor in because we're starting to use dark tan or vomit yellow, whatever you want to call it. Start sticking those in there. Yeah, it's weird what we're doing in here, huh? I want to kind of know what's going on, but I have to wait it out just like everybody else. I mean, of course, I could just read ahead in the manual, which I probably still will do, see what kind of bags we'll be building. Okay. All right, then we're starting to use the big stuff now. So step 449, we need these. So I'm going to open this up here real quick, and I'm just going to slowly press those down in there. This is pretty sturdy, but for the most part, though, I really want to get a good interlocking connection here with those. Okay. Put the clamshell back here. And we'll have to raise up the camera now. Let me readjust some. Okay. Okay. Here we go. And yes, the next thing after this will be working, I think, on a drawbridge or something. I'm not sure what this is yet. We just got to do this stuff here real quick. I did get a comment, though. I don't need this right now. Maybe about a year ago, about why am I complaining about the bags? You know, Lego wastes a lot of plastic too that goes in the landfill. And I'm thinking, well, how many of us throw away Lego sets when we're done building them? Like all this stuff that I get done, I part it out and put it in my collection. I hoard all the parts. And I just take all the pieces and make my own things. Okay. Now we got to build the drawbridge or the gate. So let's get going here on that. So I'm going to build it right here in this area. Right there. And we'll piece all these together. And another one of those right here. Okay, let's see here. Now I gotta find one more of those things. Oh, there it is. I think the remainder of this bag is going to be finishing up the bottom portion of this clamshell. And then it wants me... Oh, there's 3 of these I gotta put in there. Well, what was the point of this guy then, huh? Alrighty, and then after that, three 1x6 plates and a corner plate, or pair of corner plates. Yeah, I noticed a few of you have been commenting on the castle, which is cool. So I'm glad you. And some of you, I know one of you, I can't remember your name. You enjoy these videos. You like watching these. Cool, I appreciate it. Watch away. I have plenty more of these things to build here. I have lots of sets to build. Matter of fact, I got done with... Well, today I released... I don't know when you're watching this, but I did release one of my old Minecraft unboxing sets, and it just barely gets any views. I'm like, you know... And then I had a comment like later on. Somebody asked me, where do I get this certain color of brick from? And I'm just thinking it came out of that very set that I unboxed. So, but this year I'm not answering any more of those questions. Now I just refer to watch my tutorials, hauls, and unboxings for that answer. I just don't have the spare time like I used to answer every question like that. If it's how to build something, I can do that. You know, like I'll get a request for building tutorials. I'll answer questions for those. I mean, and that's the thing though, on here you can ask for a question on a building tutorial and I will do it. On my main channel you ask, I'll do it. You know, hey Jay, I wonder if you could do a building tutorial on something like this. And I'll take it into consideration, and if it's something that I have like 99% of the parts for, I will write it down in my list of things to build. And if I have time or it fits in with the year's theme, I usually will do that. Hold on, I think somebody's coming up the walkway here. I can't tell. It's been kind of sprinkling on and off. It's kind of damp outside today. We're one of the only very few places that's not flooded. My backyard's like walking into a marsh. And looks like it goes like that. So let's see here, and it says rotate it where it looks like that. Okay, and then set it in here. Not sure what that's for. Like, what does that even do anyways, huh? And I will try my best, though, to improve these as I go. Find better ways to film and stuff like that so you guys and gals could have more ease to watch them. I won't know until that. Yeah, I noticed, though, with the camera's microphone muted and using the voice recorder on the phone, the quality's different. And I couldn't, like I said, I really couldn't tell the difference between high quality and regular quality. Maybe it sounds a bit more crisper, but I think it's just where I have it placed. It took me a while to figure out which way to rotate the microphone and stuff in here to get the best audio quality on the phone. And my big professional camera has, I think it's XLR jacks for the microphones. You can plug in an external mic, but yeah, those are expensive. I need to get me a bigger memory card for it. Once I get that, I might be able to start filming all these in 4K, true 4K. But the microphone for that camera is like $300, and I don't want to throw that kind of money into that right now. And the microphone for that sounds just like my hand cam. Exactly like this, except without the buzzing noise inside of it. Well, it'd be nice if I could find another one of those friction pins. Oh, it's buried in this brick here. This has got some weight to it here. All right. And now it's telling me to get some chains to put on there. So get the chains placed on there. Maybe that's to chain up the skeleton who tried to escape. Yeah, I get done with this. I need to go and place an order for parts. I still got to update Patreon with some new content. I have one building guide I got to get done for the new stuff coming out. I don't think it's going to be released until February, but You know, it's kind of scary. I'm using brittle colors right now for this. In fact, I ripped apart one of my, you know, that little tool shed mock that I built, that little tutorial. It used some reddish brown around the roof. I was carefully peeling things apart. I didn't even hear a creak out of it. I'm thinking, maybe is that the new brittle brown or the new reddish brown? I don't know. I was just taking extra precautions and taking that apart. Well, we're getting close to finishing up. My hands are tired too. And let's get a couple large bushings. I'm going to stick these little notches on the bushings on the inside here. That reminds me, so I got to replace the pins on my hinges on my truck. I just got to get another person to help me hold the door stable while I pop the old pins out and the bushings and replace them and get everything fixed up and stuff. Just getting somebody here to help me is another issue. That even started some drama. Why don't you just hire someone and, like, what, pay $300 to have something I can do myself? Alrighty. And a couple of these here. I mean, we're literally just piecing this thing together. Get some pointed things going in here. Okay. And I need another one of those. Okay. And the chains go on here. You got 2 more chains. I have a feeling I think somebody's going to get stuck on here too. I'm trying to get the little eyelet here lined up perpendicular. Okay, after this, then we link this up here to this. Let me get the manual out of the way here. What the manual is saying, and I don't know how critical it is, but this chain here has to be on top of this one here. Okay, so I don't know how critical that is. But if you're not sure, just pretend that it is critical, because we don't know. And there we go. And then after you're done with that, it's telling me to turn the door. I think this is a drawbridge. So I got to be careful with this too. Okay. Wow, something's wrong. Okay, there we go. And it's telling me to turn it like this. Oh, okay, it rests right in those holes, right down there. So just drop that in there. All right, I'm gonna have to turn this towards me, guys and gals. I hope you can see too. So it goes down in here like this. Hold the chain up, make sure it's still there. And you're literally gonna have to wiggle this thing in. Does it tell me which way the chains go in there? Because I'm having a hard time. Let me make sure here. Let me take a look here. This is kind of funky here. That's what I did. But how does it go in though? I thought maybe it would have fit down in that crack, but do I have it in backwards? No. Let's try going like this then. It's telling me to do it like this. And it just dead stops there. Maybe I'm supposed to put it there, but unless that's where it's supposed to be, but let's take a look here. I mean, alrighty. This is supposed to rest way down at the bottom here, and I can't get it to do that. Like, that's as far as it goes. Like, I can't get that down any further. It's like the chains are bumping into it. And I hate to think I made a mistake, because it rests right in that spot down there. And that's where it shows it at. In fact, the door shows it right up against these pieces here. If I put these up against here, it butts right up against it. I can't get that in there any further. I am completely lost now. So I'm not sure what they're talking about here. This part here goes at the top here. Like this. The very top. Okay. But I can't get this in here any further than it's. These are supposed to slide down. Maybe it's supposed to go in this hole here, but it shows these two pegs right here. And see, this is going to be a turd before you know it. Like, that's as far as it can go in. So I need to really dig in here. And then it tells you to put two pieces in here to lock the door in, which you can't even get it down in there. So let's kind of dive in here. So we're like halfway through bag 20 and we're already stuck. So how do you even get this in here? Okay, there it goes. So I have a feeling somebody else is going to be stuck in here too. So, I mean, let me see if I can replicate what I did here for you. Okay, so I just hitched this thing on the top to get the chains out of the way. Okay, so you have to put this at a slight angle. Or just set it in here loosely like this. Then you're going to have to rotate it, because I'm going to tell you right now, you're thinking it stops there. It won't go any further. Rotate it a little bit like this and just wiggle it, and it'll fall right down in there. Okay? I think this does that. So that's what it's supposed to do. So, yeah, I have a feeling someone's going to get stuck there. They even show you where it's supposed to be right there with that round circles out right there. And this thing here, they just show this in here loose. I just tacked that in there. That's not where that's supposed to be right now. Okay. Matter of fact, how does that even connect in there anyways? It just sits in here like this. So I think this is probably something here that's going to roll up the door. So just leave it alone. Let's not mess with that anymore. Okay. That was kind of a turd to get in there. Watch thyself at Gamebridge, lest ye be cast into the dungeon. Okay, I don't know what that's about, but I'd say that that door needs to be put in the dungeon here, and this goes right in here like this. Fits right in place. That part I understand. And two 1x1s. And the 1x1s go here. Well, at least now we figured that part out, huh? My goodness, that was not easy at all. At least we got it done. I want to play with the drawbridge now. Now we know what it is. At least I'm happy I figured that part out. I figured out that much. And that's really loose there. Of course, I think that's why we got the corners in here. Wouldn't the corners go the other way? Oh, no, you got to lock that door in here. So now it's... So there we go. Oh, that's pretty seamless, too. Look at that. It's just a smooth transition in there. So you got a fancy diving board. So we can't play anymore with that. We're going to have to get more done here. Okay. Well, I thought there'd be bigger arches here, not these little ones. But, well, I almost got my finger cut on that. Look, this Lego stuff is dangerous. For it being a kid's toy. Well, it's an adult toy. This is for adults here. All right. And let's see here if we get that done. Okay. Alrighty. And trust me, you will not see the big YouTubers do the troubleshooting like that at all. Because here, when we're building this, this is all live. This is a live build. That means that I'm not censoring, I'm not filtering unless I'm taking breathers. But for the build process, if I make a mistake, you're going to see the mistake. Because if I make it, somebody else will probably make it too. And it just wouldn't do you any good if I... Oops, those don't go there. If I tell you otherwise. And there's not a whole lot of parts left. We're getting close, guys and gals. We're getting close for wrapping this up for the day. And I got to get some food. All right. In fact, I also remember when we went camping, we would be camping in the rain. Now, that's never fun. I like the rain, but not when I'm camping, because that's when you want to be outside, not be cooped up in the house. If it rains where I'm at, I don't care because I'm in the house. Okay, these go here, right next to this. So you're going to have these next to the previous arches in there. Not too bad. Looks pretty cool. Let's see here. Yeah, pretty nice. Okay, then we got to lock that arch together with a plate. And actually, no, we don't. It just sits there. So I have a feeling bags 21 through 26 will go here. So the next two installments, we're just going to do small bag. We're just going to do a 3 bags. So this one's going to be a long one today. And we need 2 arches here. Alrighty. And here is another one of those. Ooh. I'm waiting for Lego to bring these out in cobblestone. I really wish they'd bring out a 1x2 cobblestone brick where it looks like stones instead of bricks. Be good for making like rock fireplaces and gardens and stuff. Well, we're getting close. We're right now at the top. We're at the top. We're finishing, but I don't have a lot of parts left. It's starting to go pretty smooth. I wish I was a little person to fit inside of this, like a minifigure. Just to kind of go walk around inside there. Just take a tour of the castle firsthand. Just to kind of soak in the beauty of this build instead of just sitting in here just looking at the rooms in microscale form. Make this in Lego, or make this in Minecraft. All right. Thought there had been a gate coming down, but we still have a hole here. So I think there's going to be a gate probably in the next, or one of the future installments. Alrighty. It's telling me to put the round tiles. Okay, we have to work here now. Matter of fact, I do have that portable light. Let me try that here real quick. Well, if I can remember what I did with it. Yeah, I lost that too. Thought I had it. Oh, here it is. And it's one of these. I did a review on my tech channel on one of these here, and basically it's just meant to do that. What I want to do is be able to reflect the light so it's not too terribly bad, because that's just oversaturated. So let's see here. Yeah, I'll have to find a way. It says it's magnetic, but I wish there was a way I can attach it to my tripod. And two, it's cool white, so it's not going to give you the warmth that I was hoping that it would do. So I would have to find a way to warm it up. But I was hoping that would be kind of cool. Okay, now we got to start attaching vines here to that. Alrighty, let's start getting on the vines real quick. Get those vines put in there. It's just plants and a few plate. Well, something flew off down below. I'll have to get it after I film. It's probably something with duplicates. If not, I'll have to fish it out, you know. I need to put more of a guard around this stuff here eventually. Look, that was a stud flower. I saw where it rolled off, but it requires me to get the camera. I'd have to move everything out of the way to get to it, and I'll mess with it after the stream, or after this here. Okay, this goes here. Alright. One of these goes here. The other one goes here. Still got plenty of plants too, so I don't know. And it kind of just wraps around here. So what I'm gathering is this first one here goes in this hole closest to the wall here, like this. I'm really going to push that in. And the second one here, you just have to bend this around, so it's meant to go around like that. And there it is. This is kind of buckled there, but there it is for the most part. Matter of fact, there we go. I just have to take the, I mean, that's obviously too bright, but just maybe hold the light behind the camera. There you go. Some cameras, they have that light on top like this. My big professional one does. But sadly, it's cool white. I have to swap it out eventually with warm white. And this goes right next to this one. So I guess they're trying to make it look like the bind just continues. That's not pretty. That's pretty. That's not too bad, huh? And now we have plates. It's like we're working on the very top here again. All right, so not sure where this goes yet. Let me build it first. and goes right here. And then we're probably going to fill that hole in real fast. Alrighty. And I was like, what? Stick 3 1x3s here. And that's it. For bag 20. And I have a bunch of random stuff here, including that one piece that flew off the counter. So that's what we have remaining. So, that means bags 21 through 26 are still outstanding. I'm not going to worry about those now. Oh, I see when we're building the gate. There is a piece, though, that I wish I could find. That'd make a great part for a new MOC. I've been looking for that part. So anyways, let's take a quick look at what we did here. So bag 20 basically finishes the top of this here with the drawbridge. So this technically doesn't work yet. But you have to pull this for it to open up. So I'll show you here. See how it's closed? You pull it. It's kind of rough. I have a feeling there's going to be probably something like this here that makes it really gentle. So I think it's up to the builder to add more terrain to this eventually. Or there could be another part to this. I could just look at the front of the book, huh? Well, yeah, there is. There's another part that goes on the front. So it's not just a dead stop there, but... So anyways, let's take a look at the inside. Oh, this one, does it lock? Does it unlock? Yeah, you have to really pull on it. So let's get that light again in here. And as you can see, not too bad. Too bad at all. So you got your dungeons down here. Your foyer, that's what we worked on most of the build. And we got a little armor and stuff like that. So, you know, this thing's got a dim motion too. I could use that dim mode. If I close it up, for the most part, it's sealed. If this were covered here, but yeah, I'm going to say for the most part, it's pretty sealed. Except right here. And the other part of the castle is going to be attached to here. We haven't gotten that far yet, but yeah, I think honestly I'm happy with this build. And so, that's it. And you build 2 minifigures out of that whole mess. So tell me what you guys and gals think of this castle so far. Pretty cool? You know, I'm so far happy with this build. It's still keeping my interest. I just got 2 more installments. We got 6 more bags left, and this should be done. And then I'll have to have the fun part of doing the review and the tour through it. So stay tuned for another installment.